We're back on the 5:30 with a new theory on why many students in Buffalo schools cannot read very well. In the last 24 hours, Governor Kathy Hochul announced she wants to completely change how kids learn to read and switch back to using phonics. Only 30% of fourth grade students across the state can read at grade level, but tonight we are hearing about a much bigger pressing issue in Buffalo schools that impacts reading. They are not showing up for class. The Buffalo School District described the absenteeism issue as chronic and severe. And Garrett Looker with our Investigative Post partners has published his article today, and he's here with us on the 5:30. Garrett, in your reporting, you highlight something, 18%. That's the number of students who had good attendance, right, in the past, only missing school about a month. So why does this dramatically impact the levels of reading?
Well, district officials and education experts were pretty clear when I spoke to them, saying that if you don't show up for school, the chances of you getting that education that they're supplying is really, really low. So the district really defines attendance in 4 different categories, and what I took a look at was chronic and severe. Severe absenteeism is missing 1 day a week on average every week for an entire year. So district officials were saying, you know, this was a really big issue during the pandemic, and it still is an issue. And all of those interventions that they've put in place to try and get kids caught up, they may not be working if kids aren't in the classroom.
You're right. You have to read in order to succeed. And I know that's the name of a program, but it's true. You have to learn how to read or know how to read. What students, from what you found, what students are impacted the most?
So I took a look at different subgroups of students, and it appeared through the data that Hispanic and Latino students miss school a lot more on average than other students. And when you cross-reference the literacy data, they're also the lowest performing, and this tracks over the last about decade.
And when you think about that, I mean, you're also dealing with 2 languages there as well. When you think about that, what steps are being taken to get more students to come to school so that they can read?
Well, that's a little unclear when it comes to the subgroup of Hispanic and Latino students. The district officials that I spoke with couldn't really nail down any answers of why they are struggling more than other students. And educational experts said that it could be a number of reasons. You mentioned language barriers, socioeconomics, poverty and housing instability may be preventing these kids from getting to school regularly and getting those interventions that I mentioned.
All right, Garrett Looker from our partner at Investigative Post, thank you so much for joining us on the 5:30. Good information. I'm sure you will be back to continue this.
Absolutely.